The song we're starting out today's Joe the Shirts off the cuff. That's right. Today's crappy music brought to you by Lindsay Simone with her first song, Venus Flytrap. Actually, that wasn't anywhere near as crappy as the last stuff that I played on the last show, so there you go. Welcome once again. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff. Good to see that you're all here. I was very happy recently to notice that my last show has gotten like something like 20 hits, which, you know, I'm happy with, you know, because around this time of year, I don't expect a lot of people to be tuning in. I was a little disappointed, though, with you for the show before that. Gus T Jones is a whiny little bitch. Second most hit show I've ever produced. You know? The number one show I've done so far is still the one entitled Chick for Gay. But Gus T Jones is a whiny little bitch is number 2. It is 5 plays away from taking the number 1 spot from Chick for Gay. So there you go. Please don't listen to Gus T Jones as a whiny little bitch. Please don't listen to it. It's filth. It's just filth. Don't listen to it. If you do any research on web radio shows, podcasts, you'll have a decision to make, and one of them will probably be to not listen to this. So please don't listen to this show. In any case, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but after his little bitch rant the other week, ratings for the very next episode of 2.5 Men actually went through the roof. One of their highest ratings for the entire season. So fuck you, Angus. Here's one for you, though. There are rumors going through the rumor mill that Angus may be out of a job. Les Moonves was talking about it recently. If you don't know who that is the head of CBS. I mean, he is the man. I mean, people, you know, will talk about Chuck Lorre, because Chuck Lorre is the producer of 2.5 Men and just about every other show on the fucking planet, including Two Broke Girls. Apparently, he likes the number 2 in his sitcom titles, you know? I don't know, 2.5 Men, Two Broke Girls. I'm just saying. And he's, like I say, he's probably one of the most powerful producers in Hollywood right now. And yet, it's gone above him. It's gone all the way to Les Moonves, the guy at CBS. I mean, he is the boss. Okay, that's just the way it is. I actually met Les Moonves quite a few times, actually, when I worked over at CBS. And he's actually, for the most part, a really nice, down-to-earth kind of guy. But he's a smart guy. And there are rumors that Les may be pushing the producers of 2.5 Men to get rid of Angus. And I say good riddance. One of the rumors is that they're replacing Angus with Miley Cyrus as the half in 2.5 Men. I'm good with it, honestly. I'd rather watch Miley Cyrus than Gus T Jones any day of the fucking week. But, yeah, so, you, like I said the other week, you can't go around biting the hand that feeds you. You can't do that. You know, you may resent the hand that feeds you. You may, you know, talk shit privately with you and your friends about the hand that feeds you. But you do not go on the internet and just bite, piss, and shit on the hand that feeds you. You know, at somewhere between $300,000 and $350,000 an episode, you know what? I put out my hand. You better lick it, okay? You better suck the fingers, okay, to make sure that you're getting every little morsel of food. Fuck you, Angus. Now, the title of today's show, of course, is "Love Lesbians, Hate Dykes. The Difference." The difference is this. Before I really get into it, a quick disclaimer here. I have nothing against the homosexual community. Everybody knows that. One of my best friends is gay. I've had cousins and relatives that are gay. I'm good with it. You know, love lesbian movies, obviously. And I have lesbian friends as well. My good friend Vicky Wagner. If you ever get a chance, I think you can still catch her shows on YouTube. Actually, funny stuff. And she's a pistol, and she's a lesbian, and she is a very nice person. I love her, but I wouldn't call her a dyke. And I'm making the difference, the same as I made the difference between, gays, who I love, and fags, that I can't stand. Chris Rock, you may remember, made the distinction between black people and niggers. He made that distinction. I don't go around using that word in that way ever, but, at least, not where anybody might kick my ass. But you get the idea. And that is the difference I'm making between lesbians and dykes, because it's about attitude. I have known plenty of lesbians, been friends with plenty of lesbians, and for the most part, very lovely, decent human beings, and we have a lot in common. I like going down on pussy. They like going down on pussy. They like women to go down on them. I like women to go down on me. See, me and lesbians, we have everything in common. And like I said, for the most part, every lesbian I've ever known, sweet as can be, very nice, just like normal human beings, which they are. I'm not trying to make a distinction between lesbians and normal human beings. I'm not doing that. But what I am making the distinction is the difference between dykes and normal human beings. And I'm not even referring to any physical attributes here, okay? I'm not talking about big, butchy, bull dykey, I'm not talking about, mullet haircuts and, ride motorcycles and they have their own roofing business. That's not what I'm talking about here. I have nothing against these women either. I really don't. I don't. Why would I? When I say dyke, I mean the attitude that some lesbians have when it comes to dealing with men, gay or straight. If there's one thing I've noticed in the homosexual world, it is that dykes hate fags, fags hate dykes. I'm sure there are exceptions to that rule, but it's the exception that proves the rule, to quote Tom Likas. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, and this is partly what triggered today's show. Not too long ago, when I was still single, I went to a thrift store. I love going to thrift stores. Love buying used shit. I'm telling you right now, I love buying used shit because it's cheaper, and a lot of times you'll find some really interesting finds. And it always makes you feel like I'm getting over on somebody. That's what I feel like I'm winning. Charlie Sheen. I'm winning, ganando. And I go to thrift stores, and out here, the biggest thrift stores are Goodwill and Out of the Closet, which is, in case you didn't know much about California, Out of the Closet is a very, very homosexual-oriented kind of thrift store. Big on fighting AIDS. They offer free AIDS tests, supporting, the fight against AIDS with the revenue they get from their all the used stuff that they sell. Furniture, electronics, clothes, books, DVDs, CDs, all that good stuff. All right, so I love going to these stores. I do. I love buying shit there. But I also don't like to pay more than I have to for anything, because a lot of times, in the thrift stores, they'll get a little crazy and they'll charge almost as much for old stuff as what I would pay for them brand new. It's like whoever priced it just doesn't understand it's used. That's why I'm here to pay less. So anyway, not that long ago when I was still single, I decided I was at the thrift store, and I needed chairs for a dining room. And I found these 4 leather chairs with wooden legs. Very nice, very classy looking. And a little on the older side, but still very comfortable, very serviceable. They would do the job. Now I look at each chair, and each chair says $35 each. And I'm like, it's about $140. I don't want to spend $140. Shit, man. I'm not there. So I go to the manager of the thrift store and see if I can get a little bit of a price break. The chairs have been there for a couple of weeks because they date everything. Everything that comes in is dated, so we know how long it's been sitting around. And I asked, can I get a little discount on that? And it was a woman. I can't say for certain that she was a lesbian, but I'm gonna bet on it. And not friendly. As soon as I approached her, and I said, "Excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?" Just the rolling of the eye, the turning of the lip, the tilting of her head, just this whole attitude I saw just come onto her as soon as I started to speak with her, became apparent. Now, anybody could say that, well, maybe it's not because I was a man, maybe it's not because she was a lesbian, maybe it's because she's the manager, and she's sick and tired of people always coming up to her and asking her if they can get a deal at a thrift store that uses its revenue to fight AIDS. What kind of a cheap, fucked up asshole are you that you ask for a discount at a charity? Well, you know what? I'm that kind of cheap dickhead asshole. That's who I am. So I asked her, look, got these chairs here. They're $35 each. It's a little pricey. I was wondering, if I can get a break on these. And she looks at me. She looks at the chairs. And she goes, I can take $5 off each. Okay, that's about 12.5% of a deal. Or like 15%. Let's see, 10% of $3.50. So about 15% off. That's what she's offering me. Not much of a deal. And I'm thinking, you know what? At the time, my job wasn't exactly paying all that well, and I'd just gone through a divorce, so it's not like I had all this money. So I was like, is that the best you can do? Because I pointed out to her, one of them was a little beaten around the leg, another one had a rip in the back. I was like, you could do a little better. And she was like, no, $5 off each. That's it. And I'd been to these thrift stores many times, and I'd gotten way, way better deals before. But this was one of the few times I dealt with a female in one of these stores. So I said, no, thank you. I'll look elsewhere. And she was like, okay, fine, and just walked off. Like if she had said $25 each instead of $30, I probably would have gone for it. You know what I mean? It's like $100 for 4 chairs. That's a pretty good deal. All right, so, but either the next day or a day after that, I went back to the same exact thrift store, to see if maybe, I like going to thrift stores. I wasn't even looking to make a deal. I was just, anyway, but I go there and I see the 4 chairs are still there. And I'm looking around for the managers. And the manager is a gay man. Love gay men. They're the best. He's a nice guy. I had spoken with him a couple of times before, and I went up to him and was like, hey man, same deal. It's like, I was looking to buy these chairs, but they're a little too pricey. I was wondering what kind of deal I could get. He said he could let me have all 4 of them for $45. The fucking things had been there for 2 weeks. Nobody was buying them, and he needed to make room. He said $45 for the 4 of them. Okay? Not, $45 each, not the $35 each that they were asking for, not the $30 that she offered me. She said he's let me have all 4 chairs for $45 fucking dollars. Okay? I didn't flirt with this guy. I was friendly, but I wasn't flirting. I wasn't like trying to like work him over. I just asked, can you do this for me? And boom, hey, here's the money. If he had said 100, I would have paid for it. If he had said 80, I would have paid for it. But he went all the way down to 45 without me even trying. And that's the first reason I hate dykes. But I love lesbians. Anyway, I will be right back. I will continue with this. I'm not done here. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. And here's more Lindsay Simone with her song, Fallen from Grace. Welcome back once again. Today's show, Love Lesbians, Hate Dykes, the difference. The reason I brought up that previous story about going to the thrift store is because I went to a thrift store recently. About a year or two ago, my girlfriend bought me a little itty-bitty frying pan with an egg on it, like on the handle, a little decorative egg. And the whole purpose of it being to be able to just, fry up one egg. For those days that you only want one egg, but you don't want to bring out the big pans. We got the little frying pan. It's very cool. I love it. Unfortunately, we don't have a lid for it. And this is not one of those frying pans that it's designed for flipping. Okay, this is a frying pan. It's like you put the egg in and that's it. You're not going to go flipping it because then you're going to get egg all over the place. But I like the top of the egg to be a little opaque, a little cooked, okay? And I try using the big lids we have here, the bigger lids. They sort of fit, but not quite. Any case, we have this pan, and I want a lid for it. So I go out of the closet again. This was 2 days ago. And I find this little pot. Now, the frying pan that I'm talking about is, like I said, literally, it's 5 inches across. And I find this little pot. It's 5 inches across. And it's got this little matching lid. It's 5 inches across. And I was like, all right. Found a lid. Okay. Now, the little pot, but the lid and the pot are together. And they're selling it for $5. Now, I look at the little pot. It is beat. It is fucked up. The inside is supposed to be a non-stick, but it is like completely scratched and gnarled. It's fucked. It's useless, is what it is. This should have gone in the garbage, and it's $5. And I'm like, I don't want to spend $5 just to get this lid. My girlfriend said, it's probably you should probably just should have gotten it. Probably would have been worth it. But I was like, I just felt. I don't want to spend $5 for this cheap little lid, which I want. I need. I don't want to spend $5 for it. I know, I'm cheap. So I take the lid and I go to the front, and there's the person in charge there. It's a woman. Again, not sure if she's a lesbian, but I'm willing to bet that she was. And I give her my story. I tell her, look, I really want this lid, but I don't want the pot that comes with it. All right? It's beaten up, it's scratched up, it's useless. But I don't want to spend $5 for the pot and the lid. Can I just buy the lid? I offer $2, which I think is about 100% more than what it's actually worth. I should be paying only $1 max, but $2 is what I'm offering. And she's like, oh, I don't think so. And I'm like, well, why not? I said, I don't want the pot. The pot is useless. I just want the lid, okay? Just give me the lid. You can keep the pot, and just somebody else can buy it or whatever. You can recycle it, throw it away. I don't care, but I just want the lid. I'll give you $2 right now just for the lid. And she says, no, I don't want to break up the set. And I was like, what are you talking about, break up the set? It's a thrift store. She's like, yes, but then somebody's going to come in and they buy the pot and they don't have the lid. Yes, but they won't know that it came with a lid. And she's like, after about 5 minutes, she was just like, no, can't do it. Then I meet up with, the next day, actually, excuse me, today. The next day would have been 2 days later. Anyway, I meet up today with the guy, a buddy of mine. I say buddy, but it's a guy that I just see there all the time. Gay. And I give him the same story. And I have a lid. For $1. Now, my point here isn't to say that gay men are nicer to me than lesbians. That's not true. I'm saying that gay men are nicer to me than dykes. And like I said, it's an attitude problem. It's an attitude issue, actually. I mean, I don't know these women. I don't know what they've gone through. And I'm sure that a lot of them have gone through some horrible times in their lives. Horrible dealings with men, and I'm not sorry for that. I didn't do it. I'm sorry that you were hurt. I'm sorry that you're pissy. I'm sorry that so much of your developmental growth was fucked up because you weren't sure what you were, and then when you were sure what you weren't supposed to be that according to everybody else around you. And you know what? That doesn't mean you take your shit out on me. That's not what that means. I like to try to address everybody individually. I do. I've known lots of people. I've known lesbians. I've known gay men. I've known bisexual people. I know men. I know women. I know blacks and Asians and Indians, both American and Asian Indians. I've known Europeans, Australians, Brits, Germans, and I've known lots and lots of people, and have done my best, I think, to judge them, and that is what I do. I judge them, and that is what we all do. We judge each other every time we meet each other, every time we speak with each other, every time we engage another human being. We're passing a judgment. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's what we do. I mean, don't lie to yourself and say that you never judge others. You do. Trust me, you do. You're judging me now. But I try to do it on an individual basis. I met a couple of guys when I was in college, both a couple of German kids. Nice guys, liked them both. We would play basketball together. We'd go rollerblading together every once in a while. Play street hockey. Nice as can be, sweethearts of human beings, friendly, fun, good drinking buddies. I knew another German guy who was a complete dickhole. Can't blame all Germans for one guy. You can't hate all Germans because of Adolf Hitler. Okay. And what's really funny is that up until not that long ago, I mean, a lot of people did judge all German people because of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, so I love lesbians. I think they're for the most part, just like most people, just normal everyday people. That's all they are. Just normal everyday people. But even from my own perspective, my own place in the world, I love Puerto Ricans. I hate spics. I make fun of spics. A spic is derogatory term for a Puerto Rican. Where they think the term comes from is asking a Puerto Rican a question, and then he would say, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English." Now, you learned enough to say, "I don't speak English." But when I look at spics, people acting a certain way, just acting like total street trash, it's embarrassing to me almost, because I know that that's not me. I know that is not who I am. That's who I could have become if I'd followed the normal mores of Puerto Ricans in neighborhoods like the one I grew up with in the Bronx, New York. And I would have had, about a half dozen children by now, living on welfare, drug addicted, maybe part of a gang, dead, done jail time, never graduated high school. But that's not what I did. I did something different. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not a spic. And I think that, honestly, I do think that a lot of lesbians out there would find that the world is a much nicer place once they let go of the anger they have when it comes to dealing with men. And that's not an easy thing to do. I believe I know that. It doesn't shock me when I find out that a lot of men have a lot of anger with women. Misogynists exist. And I don't blame them for being angry at women. I really don't. Because a lot of women have done some fucked up things to men that they'll never ever recover from. Or at least they'll never recover from, and it cuts both ways. But you have to be able to let go of the anger, otherwise you will never ever progress beyond where you were at. Now, to this end, let's see. I was looking at a story here. This is last part of our show here. I'm going to put out heartwarming stories for Christmas. This is today's heartwarming story. A man walks into his ex-wife's place of employment, walks up to her, shoots her, kills her, leaves. This is with witnesses and everything. Man walks in 5 minutes later. He comes back with, quote, "I got to see her. I got to see if she's dead, and shot her 2 more times." Okay. Not particularly interesting in general, man, divorce. But what I thought was interesting was how the story reads. An elementary school music teacher shot his ex-wife while she played the organ during church service, and after leaving briefly, returned and shot her again to ensure she was dead. Congregants eventually overpowered Gregory Eldred, ending the shooting Sunday at the First United Presbyterian Church of Codersport, about 140 miles northeast of Pittsburgh. The shooting was detailed in a criminal complaint filed against Eldred, 52, who remained jailed without bond on first-degree murder and other charges. Eldred's ex-wife, choir director Darlene Sittler, 53, was at the organ when she was shot about 20 minutes into the 11 a.m. service, state police said. Witnesses said Eldred left the church but returned about 5 minutes later, again saying, quote, "I want to finish this. I got to see her. I got to see if she's dead." Seriously, what does a 53-year-old choir director have to do to piss off a 52-year-old elementary school music teacher to shoot her not once, but 2 more times to make sure that the bitch is dead? See that? Gotta let go of your anger. And so am I. And that is it for today's show. Thank you for listening. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. Oh, one more thing. Another 30 listens, and I'll have 1,000 plays. So please, tell your friends. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. Here's Goodbye by Lindsay Simone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Composing a letter in my mind. words that used to flow with ease, now so few and far between.